All right. Welcome to Trolls Toys. Let's get into it and see what we have today. Figure reviews, toy hunts, etc. All right. What's up, YouTube? Trolls Toys back at you again with another unboxing of G.I. Joe Classified series. And we're going to do a comparison of the three different figures available for one of my favorites from Cobra, Storm Shadow. So we're going to start out with his G.I. Joe Snake Eyes Origins movie figure, which is number 17 in the Classified series. We're going to get him unboxed, reviewed, and then we'll move on to number 35 in the Classified series, which is the more OG original Storm Shadow. And I really love this figure in the 3 3/4 line. When I was young, he was one of my faves. He's number 35 in the line. And then we're going to finish off with Storm Shadow version 2 from the Classified series. I also had this in 3 3/4, and personally, in the 3 3/4 size, I like this guy better. So we'll see if that holds true. He's number 131 in the Classified series. So we'll go ahead and get Snake Eyes Origin Storm Shadow out of the box, and we'll be back with you. So here we have number 17 in the line for the Classified series, Snake Eyes Origins movie Storm Shadow. And I think these movie figures get a lot of hate because they're very cheap when you go to try to find them on the aftermarket. But this was the first one when I started collecting Classified a few months ago that I could get my hands on. And so I was just happy to have a Storm Shadow. And I know he's not like we recall from when we were kids, and that's probably why they rank lower down the list, or they don't come with nearly as many accessories. But overall, I don't think he's a bad figure. I mean, he's Storm Shadow, right? He actually also comes with an unmasked head, like from the film. So that's probably how we'll display this Storm Shadow, is without the mask, just because we're going to have 3 different Storm Shadows now. But with all Classifieds, I mean, he does move pretty well, right? He's got good articulation. It's not really my thing. I know lots of you are, but he flexes at the torso. He's got good range of motion, right? So I think he's a decent fig. Is he going to be better than the other Storm Shadows? Doubtful, but you know, we'll see. But there's number 17 in the line. I'm going to put the other head on him just to see how that looks. All right, so here he is with his unmasked head sculpt, or so you can see the actor that played him. And now I just think this does look odd. Plus, that head was a pain in the fucking ass to get on, unless I'm just a rookie, but which I am. But I struggled to get that head to stay on. But that just doesn't look like Storm Shadow now to me. Maybe that's why. Because the Snake Eyes from the movie also came with like a head sculpt, right, that wasn't masked, and definitely you never see Snake Eyes that way. So we're going to put him back, and then we'll move on to the next Storm Shadow. All right, up next is going to be OG Storm Shadow, number 35 in the Classified series, and we'll go ahead and get him out of his plastic tomb. All right, I got to say right out of the gate, you know, number 35, the OG Storm Shadow, just is certainly going to be more of what I remember. And I guess I should have mentioned, I know there are 4 Storm Shadows in the line, but I don't have the Arctic Mission Storm Shadow at the making of this video, so we're just going to compare movie versus original versus V2, right? He's a little bit stiff because he just came out of his plastic prison. Oh, that leg is really stiff, but I guess that makes sense since we just got him out of the package. Right, but he's certainly looking way more badass right already than movie version. I mean, it's not even close. Movie version is also an off-white. Storm Shadow comes with a nice quiver of arrows, right? He's got 1 loose arrow, but there's a slot for it to go where it fits right in, because he also comes with a bow. He comes with 2 swords, right? Which looks like they can store on figure right here. It comes with a hood that we could put over him if we want to try that out, which we probably will. And then, yeah, I got to figure out what this piece is. It's just like the tie for his belt, right? It attaches right on the back. All right, so we'll get him equipped with his backpack, right? With which is the quiver for the arrows, as well as storage for the swords. All right, we've got him equipped with his bow, getting ready to knock up an arrow. And I did add the hood, although I don't remember this version of Storm Shadow with the hood. So I believe we will go back and remove this hood and see how he looks. So I believe this is how I'll display number 35 in the line, the OG Storm Shadow, with his swords holstered on his back. And then he's going to have the bow, because we can see that movie version Storm Shadow number 17 back behind him only comes with swords, so just so that they can be different, although movie version might just move out of the picture because number 35 blows him out of the water, right? The OG Storm Shadow, right? This is, like I said, I remember him from when I was like 10 or 12 years old, right? 3 3/4 line, but he's looking quite nice. And then we're going to go to version number 2 next, which is 131 in the line, which, like I said, I liked even better back when I was younger, so we'll see if that still holds true. Next Storm Shadow on deck, number 131 in the classified series, or lots of people refer to him as version 2 Storm Shadow, the one that looks more, yeah, I guess you'll call it camo to some degree, right? Camouflage. So we'll go ahead and get him out of his plastic prison. All right, we're back with Storm Shadow version 2, right? And this is when he had switched over to the Joe side from Cobra. This leg right here, his right leg, is quite stiff. I had to heat it up with a hairdryer to even get it to move. I don't know if that's a common deficiency with this figure or if I just got a bad one, but regardless, the legs were quite tight. And it is because he was brand new, I know. But that is the first time I've had to heat one up with the hairdryer just to get it to move. Right? But obviously, we can see the evolution of the line just through the figures, right? Number 17, movie version here on the left, only came with the swords, and that's it, and an extra head sculpt, unmasked. 35, he comes with the arrow and the quiver of arrows, the 2 swords, and the bow. And then 131, which is Storm Shadow version 2 here, comes with swords, obviously, as well. He comes with 2 extra sets of hands, fisted hands, as well as like karate chop hands, I'll call them. He comes with a backpack that's equipped with arrows as well. He comes with a bow as well. I think I actually like 35's more traditional bow better than this one. But this is what I remember, right? The claws, like the sort of Wolverine style claws, I'll call them. We're going to get him equipped with those because I'm pretty sure that's how we're going to display number 131 here, V2 Storm Shadow. Here's 131, V2 Storm Shadow, or the Joe version of Storm Shadow. It's going to be awesome to have such a badass that you can put on both the Cobra shelf and the Joe shelf. That's one of the cool features of Storm Shadow. And yeah, I'm liking I'm liking this figure as well. Obviously, now that I have opened 131 and 35, the ones I remember from my youth, I can see why this guy gets shit on, right? But he was the first one that I had, right? 17, the movie Storm Shadow. Right, so 131 here is fucking giving me troubles to stand. But he's got, what I like about the version 2 Storm Shadows is he got multiple ways that you can store his bow as well. You can store it on the side of the backpack. You can store it on the back of the backpack. But this is how we're going to display them, right? We're going to have 17 with the swords, 35 Cobra with the bow, and 131 Joe Storm Shadow with the fucking claws. Right? And that's what we're going to do. So once again, if I had to rate them, obviously in a distant third is movie version. Sorry, bud. And then these two both bring me back to my childhood, right? But once again, I think the reason V2 won when I was a 10-year-old is because of these fucking claws. And that's the same reason that he's going to win again for me, right? I know lots of you, I've heard people complain that this gets in the way of posing, and I don't. I just get them set up in a position I like and put them on the shelf, and people complain that this hood doesn't come off because 35 came with a hood that you can put on and off. But I remember the smaller figure had a hood, and you can take it off either. And I know that's supposed to be improvements, these are, I guess. But I'm just taking me back to childhood. So I'm going to go V2 Storm Shadow, number 131 first, number 35 a close second, right? Because I remember both of these. And then a distant third is going to be this movie guy. We're going to just pretend like he's a fucking generic ninja, I think, from now on. So there we go. Storm Shadow, Storm Shadow, and Storm Shadow. And as always, this is Trolls Toys. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.